Hi, it's Ronnie, and welcome to a Punched Out Thursday to Die for, where we'll all be using our punches and or our dies for our layout. And I am going to be using both today. And it's also Baby Got Scraps, where the only 12 by 12 paper that you use is your base layer. Ah, my mind went blank there. Um, I'm going to scrap this photo of Malachi, and I'm going to use that one I'm pointing at for a head. And I'm showing those cute little dies that I got like a year and a half ago and had not used because it they kind of fell down in the bottom of the thing. And I'd think about them when I wasn't using them. And then when I'd go, using a layout that I wanted to use them on. And then when I'd go look for them, I couldn't find them because they were down in there. I'm going to store them in with my gears from now on so I can keep track of them. This is the one I pointed out, which is the head, and then I also used that punch there for the ears. I'm going to have a larger one and a smaller one. But I usually use, when I'm using a petal of a flower for ears, I usually put the really pointy side where the glue's at and have it less pointy. However, this one, I think the pointy ones are going to work just fine, so I will have them sticking out. And then there was like this fat little um, petal on, I think it was a different punch. It's probably laying there, and I'm just forgetting to show it to y'all. But I'm using it for the eyes, and I had to trim down, so all I did was do a couple clicks, clips with my scissors in each direction, and I wasn't being particularly um, precision like with it. I just did it because I knew it'd work. And on the forehead, I'm taking the ink, and that is forest moss, and I am putting little lines on the forehead because this little guy has little lines on his forehead. And rather than use a cardstock, I decided to use ink. I took a Martha Stewart punch with little hearts on it and used the larger one for the nose. I did have both in the tray because I wasn't sure which one I'd use, but the larger one was the one that seemed to be more the right size. And then I forgot to get a punch out for the mouth. So I had to go ahead and find something, and I used that border punch and then used the off fall on the mouth. And my ears, like I said, I'm going to put the pointy side out, and the other part's just going to be glued underneath the head. And my little guy, has ears sticking straight out from the side, and they're humongous. I picked the largest petals I had for this, and they could have maybe been a little bit bigger, but I think they portray Baby Yoda good enough that you can guess who he is, especially since the photo has Baby Yoda in there. I had that scrap there, and I thought I'd try to work it in where I could use just it because I'm going to have him setting down in a suitcase. But the more I looked at it after I cut some more off, I decided it wasn't quite enough. So we'll have to go hunt another scrap that is slightly darker for the bottom of his little coat that he has on. And he always has his chin down in the um, coat where he's like, well, the coat maybe is a little bit bigger on him than need be. I don't know, but I wanted to make sure I had his chin down in the collar. And this is the other piece I got, and it is slightly darker, but I thought it'd work. I'm kind of thinking it is normally, but I'm not sure. But I'm cutting the shoulders down and stuff, and I didn't want to cut them too much down. I want them close, but not too much because I'm going to cut it in half so I can have one overlapping the other, and the ink part is going to show like a closed coat would. And I'm not going to put any buttons or anything on there. I did not even think of doing that. But I am just going to go ahead and tuck him down in the suitcase. And when I put his head on, I was trying to decide, do I want it to go to the left or do I want it to go to the right? And Baby Yoda would look fine with it just straight on because, pretty much he has it straight on a lot. But I decided I wanted it to go to the right. My suitcase is going to be one of the rolling suitcases, and I am clipping the corners so they're rounded. And I'm going to do like a pocket and then the back of the suitcase. And I went ahead and skipped through that because it was just repetitive of the smaller piece for the bigger piece. And I am going to put them together. And again, I'm using the same ink that I used on Baby Yoda for the suitcase too. And, uh, oh, after looking at him, I thought, I think he needs arms. Do I have enough room to squeeze a couple of arms in there? Well, if I don't have them out too far, it'll work. And if you look over there at a tray, I considered making little hands, which he has like 3 fingers. So I was going to layer one of the butterflies on top of the other and, well, just clip off one wing so I'd have 3. But then I finally decided, no, that they're a little bit too small. And I looked at my other butterflies and they were not quite the shape I was wanting. And I thought, he'll look fine without him. He's all tucked in there. And a lot of times he's looking out of that little bowl thing and you can't see his hands anyway. So I decided to just go ahead and leave the butterflies off. I use that skinny label for my wheels. It does have like a notch out of the corners, but I thought I'd work on the wheels. Sometimes wheels look fatter. Maybe they're getting old and getting sloppy and puffy looking. I don't know. But sometimes they look fatter up at the top than they do at the bottom. Maybe they have too much air in them. Could be that too. My car tells me when I don't have enough. I hope it tells me when I got too much. Um, I thought looking at this, well, like I said, I'm gonna have a suitcase, and I pulled out. It's pretty old. I have cut off of it, and it was a gray corrugated piece of cardstock, and I had to cut the end off because somehow it became flat in the bag, one of those Ziploc bags, and I cut it off because I wanted the roundness of the rods going up there for the handle. And then I just used regular cardstock for the handle itself. And here I thought I'd kind of portray a zipper. And I was going to make a little tab for it, but then I remembered my little screws and things over there in the tray. And I thought, I've got to put them on there. Well, I ended up forgetting a little tab thing to hang down there. But I think the screw's all right. I figure it's probably just an opening for another pocket right underneath that one, where it's not with a zipper. It looks okay without it. So I don't think I'm going to go ahead and add one. But the screws are all, well, they're screw tops on the little circle things. And since the centers are cut out, I put black behind them. And I used my 1/4 inch punch for the first one, and y'all seen it. But then I went ahead and skipped through the rest. The larger ones, a 1/4 inch punch worked just fine. But I had to take a strip and put behind the other ones. And then I had a fussy cut around the places where the cardstock was sticking out. So they are backed also in black. And then I just put them on the little suitcase thing. I'm highlighting everything in white since Baby Yoda's highlighted in white. Or the child, you might call him the child. But I went ahead and did my highlights in white on it. I'm going to start putting my 6x8 pieces of paper on here and probably mat my photo too while I'm talking because I want to mention that down there below you'll find everybody that's doing the a punched out Thursday to die for and using their punches and or dies. So make sure you check them out and see what they created today. And then also you'll see baby got scraps. And so you can use a 112 by 12 paper, which would be your background, and scraps. And you can also use a smaller paper pad. And this is the collection that I'm using this for. Goodness, it's I'm thinking Let's Go. I know it's Simple Stories, but I'm thinking it Let's Go. And it's one I got off of Peachy Cheap, where you get the 6x8 and then a few things to go with it. And I thought I'd use it for the layout today since Malachi there is in the car in his car seat and about to fall asleep. And he's holding baby Yoda. And he looks so cute. And so does baby Yoda. Anyway, I cut out the screws, and there is this border thing, and I've only used it maybe one other time, maybe two, but I haven't used it much because usually I want a variety of places to put it. But I got to thinking when I went to make the baby Yoda, I'd like to have that corner done, and I thought about putting the screws behind the suitcase, but in the end, I decided to put it on top. And since I didn't put the suitcase on foam tape or anything, it is pretty dimensional without it. But I went ahead and just kind of put screws over the top. I will, however, add one over to the left hand side, and it will uh, be a bigger one. I wanted to get my this was already cut out in the blue. I seen it while I was looking for what I was going to use on the layout, because if I cut out extra, sometimes you think you want two or three or whatever. And if I cut out extra, I just put it in the envelope with the ones that's already cut out. And then I don't have to cut it out if that color works for the layout. So that piece, and I just call it geometric shape. That's what I looked for on the internet when I found it. And so I just call it my geometric shape. Of course, the little plastic thing and, well, magnet, not very good magnets. I haven't had much luck with them. If anybody's had luck getting some that really work well, let me know, because I bought them 3 times now, and maybe 4, and they have not worked well. Anyway, back to the subject. All them in there, I just call it my fun shapes, because I found them all with the um, search words geometric shapes. I added the binoculars over there with Baby Yoda. I couldn't figure out a place over by Malachi because I knew I wanted to add the potato chips and the bottle of soda pop, and it says fizz on it, I think. Uh, these are all the ephemera in this collection is kind of oddly shaped. Like the bottle, it has the label, but the label goes over the sides, so it's kind of sticking out. And I thought, well, if I'm going to have chips there, I want to have the bottle too. I made the road trip Cuddle Buddies with a diamond press die, and I put the packaging in there. Well, not the packaging, it's a sheet of paper telling you how to make whatever it is, only with alphabet you don't make anything. I thought for sure it had the title on there, the name, something, because it does have other writing besides the alphas. No, I read the whole thing and I couldn't find it anywhere. But it is by Diamond Press. And I like, well, the letters remind me of where different ephemera and stuff has Road Trip on it. And it has it, straight letters, no cursive. And I thought, well, I'm just going to use it for my layout because I really like the way Road Trip looks in those kind of letters. And the title does take up a bit of space, so I had to make sure my photo was going to hang off to the right a little bit. That was my plan. But I had to pull out the title to see how far over it would go, and for it to look halfway decent, I had to move my photo over. But I do like it this way, so it works out in the end. It just didn't work out the way I originally planned. My 12 by 12 paper just isn't big enough sometimes, in my head anyway. And I'll plan something and then I have to work around it because, yeah, 12 by 12 inches isn't big enough. I've seen the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders once on TV, and they were showing off their scrapbooks that they made, and theirs was all, I'm thinking, 16 by 18 pages. It was a big scrapbook. And the stamp store that I used to go to, well, it's no longer in business, but they had that size paper. They did not have 12 by 12 paper. And so it exists. I just haven't never seen it in real life, just on TV. Um, but that's it. That's my layout. And there's Baby Yoda, and I think he kind of sort of looks like him. I might have to work on him if I have to make any more. I know I did a layout with Baby Yoda in there already. Maybe I haven't. Maybe I just thought I did because he does have several photos with him, but I didn't do any punch art. And I added some words to my layout: wander and play all day and new places, and that one right there. I just love the sticker books because there's so many words that you can pick and choose from for your layout. And they are thin, so yeah, I do have them layered there. But if you leave a comment down there below, I'll try to get back with you. And if you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. And those of you who already are, thank you so very much. And thank you all for watching my video today. I know there's plenty out there to choose from, and I appreciate you watching mine. But have a happy, scrappy week. Have fun checking all the videos and layouts out. Bye.